Hello again and welcome to another episode of the Franchise Everything podcast, where we talk about everything and anything franchising, and very clearly we're at a different location today, and we're at Stellarossa, and we're joined by Phil Cronin and Darren Schultz, who are the co-founders of Stellarossa. G'day gents, how are we?
Afternoon, Glenn.
Yeah, how are Glenn? How are you?
Very good, thanks. That was quite a mouthful actually.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I didn't expect to say all that in one hit.
You did well.
Mate, we're at Aspley, and Anna, the lovely franchise owner here, has let us set up in a later afternoon in her seating area.
Yes.
How long's this store been around for?
This store now, I think it's 4 years since I think it's been
pretty
going for
much.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years in its current format. We've been on site here for about 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and had a bit of a move or something you were saying, didn't it?
The landlord wanted to create a bit of extra space for the doctor's surgery.
Yeah.
So pulled us forward and spent a lot of money on that. And
And did it for you. That was great.
Did it for us.
What a relief.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a good job as well.
Yeah, no, it looks great. So today we're going to talk about the Stellarossa franchise business model. So before we jump into that, though, tell us a little about Stellarossa. It's a lot of people maybe watching this wouldn't know it because it's a Southeast Queensland brand or Queensland brand.
Well,
tell us about it.
Queensland brand now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I forgot the guys up north. My bad.
We're up to Cairns, out to Toowoomba, down to the Gold Coast, and pretty much everywhere in between. So, bit of backstory. Phil and I started the brand back in 2009. Back then, it was a espresso bar model in Brisbane City. That was our model back then, which was small. Grab and go, all about the coffee.
High volume coffee, no doubt. Yeah.
Exactly.
CBD focused a lot too.
Yeah, a lot of foot traffic straight past the front door.
Yeah. And funny enough, we have got nothing we've got no stores in the city anymore.
None at all. Okay.
And I guess there's a couple of people have said to me, through the COVID period, and one thing I was really grateful for was not having any stores in the city.
You were like a fortune teller weren't you, before.
Yeah.
We're ahead of our time, Glenn.
You were. You knew exactly what you were doing.
No stores in the city, and it was, and only in Queensland. So we really dodged a bullet. But look, we had a massive growth back in 2009 through to 2014, I think it was, in the city. Then we ventured out into the suburbs,
into the burbs.
Yeah, we saw our model growing, expanding the menu side of things, and the burbs have been great.
Burbs have been good to you.
Oh, they've been fantastic.
So they're not all like this, are you? So you've got different models. What other types of stores or footprints in stores do you have?
Yeah, so currently we've got three main models. We've got small kiosks, so predominantly in a shopping centre, in a mall. Small kiosk, 25 square metre footprint with some seating area. Yeah. Then we've got traditional cafes, I suppose, for want of a better word.
Like this
a bit like the one behind us. Yeah.
So it's like an inline store.
Like an inline cafe. And they come in a few different size formats from general space they occupy and seating capacity. And then the third model we have is drive-throughs. And then the drive-throughs are effectively a standalone cafe with a drive-through attached to them. So they've got internal seating, external seating, and a drive-through. And even, kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah. And even that model, even the drive-through model, there's a bit of flexibility there. So we've got a couple of different models. One which is predominantly drive-through and a small grab and go, a little bit of seating, all the way up to a larger format model, which I think Mackay drive-through is about 165 square metres. So it's a full inline cafe internally as well as a drive-through. So it's pretty much two businesses in one.
Yeah. So with all those types, how do you manage things like menus and things like that? Because there's obviously a lot of differences between range in stores.
Challenging.
Yeah.
I think from a menu perspective, it's something we realised. It was actually pre-COVID, to use COVID again. I think it was about 2018. We introduced a flexible menu. So pretty much every menu in our network is slightly different. There's core menu items, for example, eggs Benedict, bacon and eggs. That's on every menu in the network.
When no cafe can be without those things,
Correct.
can, of course.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But we realised that it's just not a one size fits all menu option anymore, and I think that was a really big tick for the brand. It was something that I think we trailblazed, and I don't think anybody else is doing it, to be honest. But
with the range of flexibility you think you have from your perspective?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've used this example plenty of times, and Phil's heard me say it so many times, where acai bowls, as an example, don't sell in Rockhampton.
Isn't it warm enough?
Well, it's not that they like their meat.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Where
surrounded by cattle farms, aren't they?
Maybe you get a beef acai bowl. We might be on a market trend.
Go for that. Go for it. Yeah. Get some food technologists behind it. I'm sure they'll come up with something.
Yeah, it's pretty daunting.
Yeah.
But acai on the Gold Coast is a must. They sell. So we just realised that it's having that flexibility in the menu was a massive win for the brand, and it adds a little bit of a point of difference to every site as well.
Yeah. So how do you manage that? So are franchisees getting involved in that, or are you going to them saying, "Hey, this is what you're going to do"? How do you deal with that from an operations perspective?
Operationally, effectively, we're coordinating the menu rollout with each store. So each store, we go to them with the electives and the core menu. So obviously, the core menu, they can set their price on each item in the core. We offer them a recommended retail and a cost base. But then, say from the electives, it's the same thing. We give them a basket or a quite a large choice of electives that then they can choose from and tailor to their local market, or potentially come back with other options that they want to add into their menu.
Is that a bit of work from an ops perspective, coming up with all that stuff per store?
It's a lot of work.
I was going to say, it feels like a bit of work. Yeah. I remember I used to be in the donut business, and there weren't too many options there. It was like, here's the bag of mix, and away you go.
Yeah.
But that sounds like quite a bit of work.
It is, yeah. And then just staying on top of things like supplier costings and raw product cost changes all the time. So it's just keeping all that up to date.
Kilojoule counting, being over 20 stores, we've got to kilojoule count everything. It's it's massive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too is we encourage our franchise partners to do specials as well. So that's it's another point of difference. Some franchisees choose to do specials, some don't. So it's not a must, but it adds that little bit of, like, if you've got a franchisee who is quite creative and they're a bit of a foodie, it sort of gives them
they can have their little stamp on it.
A little bit of spin on
it. I think we're in franchising, we lose a bit of that. You know, like giving people that little bit of flexibility.
Absolutely.
Because there's that entrepreneurial thing a little bit, isn't it? People like to have their little touch on their business.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's exactly right. They want to show their flair.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting into business essentially with a franchise to be able to follow a system, but at the same time, they might be a creative person. They need to be able to satisfy that creative urge, or where do they go?
Yeah.
We're still a bit careful too. Like we're not encouraging, items that are non-brand,
crazy experimental stuff.
We're not encouraging sushi and things that are off-brand. I guess
that don't make sense.
That modern Australian cafe with a bit of a European twist to it. So that's we like them to stay on that path.
Yeah, in that lane.
Absolutely.
So with that sort of makes my mind sort of churning away with, as far as numbers and stuff go, that because managing costs and everything and margin and stuff on so many different items. So where do you guys sit on fees and all that sort of stuff as into the business, and then managing those with different menu items like that?
Well, I suppose we've got a fee structure that's it's a percentage of all sales, gross sales that the stores do. So it's a fixed fee that we're doing with that for the group.
That's 6%.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So we're at 6% for
that's royalty,
general turnover, and then 1% on marketing.
1% marketing, okay. Yeah, that's a bit lower than what you hear around.
Yeah, we pretty much sit, like, we know, and I'm not going to use any brands here, but we know that everybody else is sitting around that, 8 and 3, 9 and 3, as in 9% royalties, 3% marketing. So we wanted to come under that and be a little bit more cost effective, and that's, the margins are tight. We want franchisees to make money.
Is there a payoff for that? Like, is it from a marketing perspective? Like, how do you juggle that? Say, for example, because I know, whether the marketing dollars gets used well or not is always a moot point, I suppose, depending on a store.
That's the challenge.
And I'm talking about every brand. Yeah,
it's the challenge with every budget, isn't it? Really, like how well we use it. I suppose in the marketing aspect too. So we're charging 1% of sales for a group marketing system, but we're also then encouraging local area marketing in store with a further 1% store at the local, 1% spend at the local level. But it's really then allows them to target what they want to do locally in their community. Is it charitable stuff? Is it specific print or adverts that they go to market with, or sponsorships of a local team or something like that, where they can connect to the community and get some value, direct value for that out of their local marketing spend for their business.
And we assist them with all of that as well. So.
Yeah. Do you find that, it's been years since I've been in it, how are the shopping centres as far as working with you and working with local stores? Because my memory is that shopping centres generally will say, hey, we're here, we're a draw card anyway.
Yeah.
How do you find that? Do you work in with them much, or does it depend on the shopping centre?
It depends on the shopping centre. Yeah. Look, we've had our foray into the larger shopping centres. We're not in any of the big tiered shopping centres anymore, and that's by choice.
I was going to say, is that a deliberate choice?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that we won't go back there again. We've had plenty of changes throughout the journey of our brand, and we've been into the with the big guys. And I'm not saying it's all bad. I mean, you know what you're getting, or what you're not getting. And they are a good draw card. But you do have to push them to. You're spending that. You're paying a marketing.
So is that
levy.
like if you don't ask, you don't get type of thing?
That's right. Well, in most cases, look, there's some shopping centres are very proactive and they'll jump on board. Others, it's a 4 or 5% marketing levy that you're paying as part of your lease, and it just ka-ching.
Yeah, so, it just keeps rolling.
That's right. So,
and we do Christmas and we do Easter, and that's it.
And what more do you want?
Yes, they're all here as it is.
Yeah. But they are a good draw card too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bodies coming through those places as well.
Yeah, it's true. There's foot traffic is pretty significant. So as far as managing the business, and I'm just trying to get a visual on, I'm still thinking about all these menu items, right? So supply chain for that, how do you handle so many different products? So how many menu items would you have? I mean, like per store, for example. So I'm just trying to get my head around sort of like what it looks like.
Look, I'm actually.
If you took food, there's probably the store would probably only have 20 to 25 food items on the menu. Out of control. But then they might have another 20 to 25 beverage items: hot drinks, cold drinks, teas, frappe, smoothies, that type of stuff. So, but say the menu that we send out where they choose with their electives, there might be 50 menu items on that spreadsheet where they can choose their obviously the core items are set, but their electives that they run on top of that. But then in addition to that, I suppose in our menu library, there might be another couple of hundred dishes in there that we keep costed, kilojoule counted.
That's pretty cool.
We've got software. We've got software to help with that.
Yeah, so. It's not all one person sitting in there in a little Excel spreadsheet. Yeah.
So you can run a special. Go, look, I've got a certain product that I've over ordered too much bacon or something like that. What can I do? Go into the system, look up bacon dishes. Go, right, I'm going to run a special on X dish they pulled out of the system. So
with supply though, how do you supply them? Like, what are you supplying stores mostly? So do you supply obviously coffee and stuff centrally, I gather?
Yeah, coffee and associated coffee products. That's all supplied by us through head office. We've got we're currently with PFD.
So the bulk of suppliers are contracted in on we went to tender. A tender response, choose the best tender response that we think's suited to us with supply, availability, prices, delivery costs. Well, there's quite a few aspects we go through, and that's across cold beverages, milks, dry goods, cold goods, that type of stuff, frozen goods, packaging. So we pretty much tender the bulk of it out. So the stores, well, ideally, the concept is they get a set price. They know what the price is until we get some price rise, which seems to be a fairly common occurrence these days. Yeah, or like a central type of one. Yeah. Coming through to you from suppliers. From that supplier or the manufacturer that supplies to a PFD, for example. And then there's some local supply stuff that the stores do locally to their own store. Yeah, so you do quite a bit of local sourcing, don't you? Yeah, that's once again, that's another strong point of our brand. So part of our, I suppose, company
motto is your local cafe. So we've worked really hard on trying to keep ourselves very, very local to the area. We encourage franchisees to buy all their fresh produce locally, from the local fruit and veg, local butcher. It just embeds a real community feel with each store, and it's really well received. They're sort of working together too with the local
especially
operators.
when you're not in massive centres.
That's right.
You can have that real local feel, and you're all buying from each other. That'll help those individual businesses.
You're that big brand that everything's controlled. Where we really encourage that, support the local,
because you want that owner to be that local face of that local community, don't you?
That's exactly
really
right.
what you're connecting with the community.
Yeah, for sure.
So pretty much from what I've seen, no two Stellas look alike. So how do you go about design and stuff like that? This is a really nice looking store. The innovation and everything around that. What do you do from a design? Who's involved in the design? Is that mainly your side of it, Phil?
I suppose it's part of my role. I look after design.
You smirked then.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Set out design of the stores.
Phil loves it when I bring him something different.
Yeah.
It's an evolving process.
Yeah.
There's always a column or a dodgy wall or a void
or a
in the middle of
or something.
right in the middle of the front counter where you need a nice clean space.
And I'm just saying, just work around it.
You bring it to him on a Friday afternoon.
You're right. Just work around it. Yeah.
I suppose we've got a general design concept that we're looking for to keep the stores looking consistent, but we're also not afraid or happy to work with the local operator, as in the franchisee, to achieve. They might have something specific in mind when they're coming into the group. So we've got pretty much most stores will have some tweak or adjustment that suits the local layout, the size of the site, and what the operator requires too.
Gives them that feeling of real ownership.
Yep.
So if they're, and look, not everyone takes us up on that, but some
to get involved like that.
And they might have a specific chair that they want, or just a bit of a look and feel, and we'll work with them. So and we're sort of priding ourselves on not being cookie cutter, not everything just looking, that's what you get. So obviously the branding is still there.
It's got to be a thread through it. Yeah,
absolutely. But we started off initially in the city. We were very industrial, concrete floors, exposed ceilings, all blacked out, big pendant lights, and quite a cold feeling, which worked in 2009 and for the next few years. And then we changed. Was like, hey, we've got to, especially going out into the burbs, into the suburbs.
Yeah.
Not that the suburbs are negative. We love the suburbs.
No, not at all. You love the suburbs.
We love the burbs.
Yeah.
And
we all live in them. They're fine.
Yeah, exactly. And we've just found that we evolved into a bit more of a traditional cafe look and feel several years ago, just to bring a bit more warmth into the environment. So a bit more timber and a bit more colour, some depths of tones, just to give it that real bit more homely feel.
Excellent. Yeah. So before we wrap up, I want to just bring up a phrase that you guys mentioned, because we've known each other for years and everything, right? Been a while. You mentioned, there's a phrase you mentioned called Stellarize. You're going to Stellarize stuff, and you described it to me once, and I think I love the sound of it. It's the innovation side to it and doing something different. Yeah. What's when you Stellarize something?
Yeah, look, we've successfully taken on stores that are an independent cafe. We've done it a few times now, very successfully, whereby basically the core part of the business is all set up. Sometimes it needs us to go in there and change some furniture, but when we Stellarize it, it's putting a bit of the brand spin onto that site. So
it's rebranding essentially to Stellarossa. Yeah.
So whereby it might be somebody that just they've got their store up for sale. It actually suits our brand. We come in, we do a bit of negotiating with the landlord, try and get some capital out of the landlord to actually put that branding and that spin on it.
A landlord contribution,
landlord, which that's something that we pass on, and it actually keeps the entry level for the franchisee down.
So, what circumstances are people? I mean, are you actively looking for that sort of stuff?
It is part of our growth strategy.
Yeah.
We understand that, yes, there's a lot of sites out there that are empty that, we can put a cafe into, but there's a lot of really good-looking cafes that people have spent a lot of money on, and I don't mean it's the cafe industry is not for everybody. And they've come in and they've spent a whack of money on it, and then realise 18 months down the track, like, get me out of here.
I'm not running it very well. I'm not enjoying it, or whatever. Because then this is the thing. I think people are afraid to talk about it. Sometimes people are leaving businesses for all sorts of reasons.
Absolutely.
At times, it's not. I mean, there's people being challenged in businesses for sure, but there's all sorts of reasons why people need to get out of a business, like selling a house.
And I think it suits few different aspects for different people too. If you translate it into a house, like plenty of people buy a house and do it up, move in, spend money on it, reno it, and make it their house. They don't bulldoze the whole house and start again. Effectively, the bones are there, so why not use that value that's already there? Without having to spend the money again, effectively.
And that capital expenditure is so high. Like for a new store, all the what we call the Cat 1 works. That's before contributions or before the expenses. There's a lot of money that goes into that. So it's all there. Let's repurpose it.
I mean, that's gold, isn't it? If you can get a location that's already got a whole bunch of stuff done to it with a kitchen or whatever down the back, you may as well take it and rebadge it, make it look nice, put a skin on it, and away you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think sometimes too, it's timing too. Like we get offered sites and they might be 18 months away. Like it's a paddock and something's got to be built. Not everyone's timeline is 18 months. Some people might go, look, I'm looking for a business. I want one in the next 3 months. And it may suit their timeline to do that.
And I want it in this suburb or this region, and there's this one available here right now for sale.
And look, on that too, I think there will be, as time goes on, there'll be operators that don't have all the systems and the structure that we have. They don't necessarily dislike the industry, but it's those 1%ers, it's those percentages that they're not keeping control of that we do as a brand. Where we're supporting all that system. So I'd like to think that there's operators out there that we could actually convert to the brand
that aren't exiting necessarily, but
they just want
that's a different spin on it.
Totally different spin. I mean, we haven't had that happen as
but
yet.
You're waving the flag right now for it.
Absolutely.
Totally.
It's no different to, you could be in a hospitality business or a cafe, that type of thing, and you take on a business advisor or a marketing advisor to help support your business. I suppose our operational support as being part of a franchise network, it's a similar concept to that, where that's what we're effectively doing. We're helping with business advice, marketing advice, supplier advice, and support across the board.
Exactly. Menu development, all that sort of stuff. You take the pain away so those operators can just come in and run their business. It's
excellent.
Perfect.
All right.
Open the door up.
Great finish. Great finish, gents. Thanks for telling us all about the Stellarossa franchise business model.
Good fun. Thanks, Glenn.
And that's it. This one's another one done. This here at Aspley Stellarossa. If you like and enjoy this sort of stuff, please share, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one soon.